15 minutes ago. Jungkook breaks down in tears after Jimin drops a shocking revelation about BTS that could change everything. No one expected it. Not the fans, not the media, and certainly not the man who stood at the center of it all, Jungkook. Known for his unwavering composure and unshakable strength, the youngest member of BTS broke down in front of a live global audience just minutes after Jimin revealed a revelation so unsettling, it sent ripples through the entire K-pop industry. What did Jimin say that triggered such an emotional collapse? And more importantly, what does this mean for the future of BTS? The room fell silent. The camera, steady and ruthless, captured every nuance. Jungkook's clenched jaw, his attempt to avoid eye contact, and finally, his tears. It wasn't performative. It wasn't scripted. It was raw, honest, disturbing. For the first time in years, the image of BTS as a flawless, unified force fractured in real time. And it all began with one confession from Park Jimin. During this period, we barely talked. And there were nights we genuinely thought it might end. The words hit like a seismic wave. The audience froze. Behind him, even staff from HYB labels exchanged glances, visibly shaken. The room they stood in was intended to house a simple commemorative interview to celebrate BTS's 11th anniversary, a retrospective for fans. What it became was an unexpected emotional breakdown broadcast live, triggering one of the most poignant and unsettling moments in the group's history. Why would a few sentences from Jimin, typically the most composed and considerate in interviews, be enough to unravel Jungkook's emotional defenses in front of millions? And why now? In just under 15 minutes, the entire narrative around BTS shifted. For years, BTS has been revered not just for their global success, but for their impenetrable brotherhood. No scandals, no disbandment rumors, no visible discord, only achievements. Yet beneath the pristine surface, the tension had been brewing. Jimin's voice cracked as he continued, "We always tried to show our best. But behind that, there were long nights when we didn't talk to each other at all." He paused, and honestly, there was a time when we all thought this was the end. The moment he uttered that line, the atmosphere in the studio changed entirely. What had been planned as a celebratory documentary turned into a live psychological autopsy. Jungkook, seated just to Jimin's left, visibly froze. His breathing changed. His eyes darted away from the camera. Then silence. And tears. Was it the content of the confession? Or was it the culmination of years of pressure, buried emotions, and unspoken truths? According to sources present in the room, the sudden silence wasn't due to shock alone, it was respect. No one dared speak. Not the crew, not the press, not even the remaining members. And that silence echoed louder than any words spoken in the interview. Within minutes, footage of Jungkook wiping away tears had gone viral. On social media, phrases like Jungkook crying, Jimin confession, and BTS ending began trending globally. Fans didn't just speculate, they panicked. Had BTS reached their breaking point? Were these tears a farewell? Adding to the speculation, fans quickly began revisiting past moments, interviews, V-Lives, concert footage, searching for signs they may have missed. One clip from 2019 resurfaced, where Jungkook, in an offhand moment, mentioned, "Sometimes it's hard aligning everyone's path." Back then, it was seen as a harmless comment. Today, it reads as a prophecy. What followed the confession was a rare glimpse into the psychological toll of being BTS, not as performers, but as people. Jimin revealed that during their hiatus, he and Jungkook had multiple personal conversations. Some were so emotionally intense, they didn't speak for days afterward. "He keeps everything inside," Jimin said quietly. And I think that's unfair. Those words shattered Jungkook. He covered his face. He didn't speak. But his entire body language told the story of a man carrying burdens beyond what fans could imagine. And perhaps for the first time, the world saw that not even idols, no matter how successful or beloved, are immune to emotional collapse. One source close to the group later confirmed that Jimin's decision to open up wasn't spontaneous. It was something he had considered for days. And it wasn't just about addressing the fans, it was about speaking to the members, out loud, on record, in a way that could no longer be ignored. "We always prioritized performance, image, perfection," Jimin said, but not each other. The idea that the world's biggest boy band may have come dangerously close to disbanding was too shocking for many to process. Even more so was the realization that the most emotionally expressive member of the group wasn't Jimin, it was Jungkook, who had managed to keep it all hidden until this very moment. As the internet tried to make sense of what it had witnessed, experts in K-pop culture weighed in. Professor Han Ji-woo of Seoul National University commented, "This isn't about disbandment. This is about breaking the myth that idols don't suffer." Jimin's confession was a cultural rupture, and Jungkook's tears confirmed that something has been very wrong for a very long time. There was no official response from HYB during the first critical hours after the broadcast. The silence only deepened speculation. But then, Jungkook posted on Weverse, "There are things I can't explain. But I didn't cry because I'm weak. I'm human." That single sentence broke the internet. Within minutes, thousands of messages poured in, many supportive, but some raising the uncomfortable question, is this the beginning of BTS's end? Behind the scenes, reports indicated that Jimin and Jungkook had spoken privately for nearly an hour before the interview began. According to one staff member, the conversation was intense, private, and emotional. While the content of their discussion remains unknown, several insiders suggest that Jimin's statement may have been the result of that conversation, perhaps even a mutual decision. Though Jungkook's reaction indicates otherwise. So, what does this mean going forward? Some believe this could be a turning point, not toward disbandment, but toward a new era of transparency and emotional honesty in BTS's journey. What Jimin did was revolutionary, said a former BTS choreographer in an interview with Korea Herald. He saw Jungkook suffering and refused to let it go unseen any longer. In the hours that followed, online forums lit up with analyses. Fans dissected past interviews, song lyrics, even social media posts, reinterpreting every detail with this new context in mind. Every glance between members, every lyric about loneliness, every behind-the-scenes moment suddenly held new meaning. Many pointed to the immense pressure BTS has carried for over a decade, as the face of Korea to the world, as UN ambassadors, as global megastars with virtually no margin for emotional error. And for Jungkook, who grew up in the spotlight, that pressure has been life-defining. The consensus among cultural analysts is clear. This is not a publicity stunt. This is not a marketing gimmick. This is a breakdown, and possibly a breakthrough. Professor Han elaborated, when the most successful musical group in the world reveals its emotional fractures on camera, the industry must listen. Not to exploit, but to evolve. Jungkook and Jimin may have unintentionally opened a door that cannot be closed. And still, the central question lingers. What exactly did Jimin mean when he said, "We thought it might end"? Was it a passing fear? Or a serious discussion among the members? Some fans are hopeful, interpreting the moment as cathartic, a necessary confrontation that could bring the group closer. Others are preparing for the worst. But one thing remains undeniable. Jungkook's tears were not just for himself. They were for every hidden fight, every unspoken word, every silent night that the world never saw.